Well, Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to this live stream where I'm going to be giving an update about my channel. And hopefully I'm making it a live stream so that you guys can join in the live stream and hopefully give me feedback on some of the updates I'm going to be making for this channel this year. I'm going to hopefully, if all being well and it turns out alright, I'm going to upload it to my channel as well. But we're going to make some big changes to this channel this year on this channel. First of all, let me get this chat working. Okay. Oh, cancel. Okay. Cool. So that you guys can see the chat on the relay. If you're watching this on relay, don't forget you can view it at twice the speed. If you don't want to see all this rubbish where I'm talking like this. So hopefully now, if you're watching on twice the speed, it sounds like I'm talking normally. No, but I'm not really going to speak like that. But the idea of this stream is that working? Please say that's working. If it's not, I've got rid of it anyway. Let's get it. There we go. Right. So, big changes this year to this channel. Let me first off by saying that 2018 was a very hectic year. There was a lot going on, especially that last week in December. I was pretty busy with work, with my day job, and it was so hectic that by the time I uploaded the video, it basically expired because I scheduled my videos for 4 PM, and most of the news was happening either overnight or early morning. Therefore, we couldn't get information or analysis or reactions out quickly enough. So that's going to change in 2019. Basically, the idea is that I still like my day job, and I'm still going to keep my day job for a while. There's this idea that people on YouTube don't like their day job, and therefore they're doing YouTube to try and quit their day job. I'm hoping you can hear me fine. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Sorry. Cool. Yes, so the changes I'm making this year. Sorry, this is really badly planned. I made a whole list of changes I was going to make. It's going to be super well presented and thought out, and it's going to put already. So when I started YouTube, I started as a kind of comedy creator kind of thing, mainly because I felt that I was kind of bored. There wasn't enough entertainment or videos out there for me to watch to keep me entertained. So I started making videos as a way of kind of entertaining myself and helping myself occupy some of my spare time, rather than just sitting there consuming videos and consuming what was ultimately not appealing to my sense of humor, or I just didn't want to click on it, or there wasn't enough in the mainstream media for me to want to watch. And I just got bored, and I felt like making better content. So I started making a lot of comedy videos. Now, when Trump and Brexit happened, particularly the Trump thing, I started predicting, I started doing political videos predicting how the Trump election would turn out, predicting that he would win. And then I started talking about Brexit more. And then particularly last year, when the elections came about, I started really getting into analysing the election, predicting the election, trying to work out who would win and how my vote would go. And I've always been like that because I'm a Libra. I always weigh things up. I always like to analyse things and work out how things are going to go. Now, at the time when I started doing that, there was only me, Jonathan Pye, a guy called Chunky Mark, I don't know if you've seen him, Owen Jones from The Guardian, and obviously all the mainstream media news outlets. And so I was approaching it from an analytical side of things. I was being more, I was doing a lot of kind of graphical predictions and more kind of presentation-y style stuff. But it was after the election, when I made that documentary, How Britain Broke, that I realised that I was really good at making documentaries, and that was my thing. And so I carried on making documentaries like week in, week out, until I discovered that I couldn't carry on making documentaries week in, week out, because there was nothing big enough happening every week for me to talk about in a huge documentary style video. So that meant I had to scale back. I had to do more kind of analytical videos where I sort of bring up a much smaller topic, perhaps, or I link in topics and I show like a clip, and then I show another clip, and then I talk a bit more, and then I show another clip, and it's kind of like a clip compilation, but it's also me analysing it, and that's really how my channel has thrived. But since then, and particularly this year, there's been a lot of competing channels. There's channels like the BREXIT Scientists and TDLR News, who do really in-depth, factual, analytical stuff, and really good analytical stuff, because they've obviously done some kind of political degree. I've never done anything like that. I'm just a layman interested in politics. And they also have the animation software. I did have that software. I decided to get rid of it because I was spending loads of money through Adobe and I wasn't getting anything like in return in terms of views at the time. Also because animation itself takes a lot of time to make, and I simply didn't have the time to make anything of quality with any interest in, or any kind of ideas for what I could do with that animation. I might eventually one day return to like animated content, like presentation, like style stuff, and I do have a lot of like more analytical style videos. For example, a video about how MPs are voting in Parliament, and perhaps showing how like perhaps making a swingometer in terms of Remain and Leave, and working out how that swingometer is going. Things like that. I always try and be more creative and more interesting, and often my ideas are a bit more out there. But I realise that there's channels out there that do analysis and facts better than me, and therefore I hope you're getting a smooth enough stream, by the way. Yeah, so therefore I want to be able to make this channel about predicting the future and about the more personal side of politics and Brexit. Now, I started off like getting a lot of hate for what I was doing, because I was presenting my personal opinions and my take on things. And of course, if people don't agree with your take on things, they will dislike, they will write something hateful in the comments, and most likely they won't subscribe. And I think that's part of the reason why I struggle to grow. Another reason why I struggle to grow is because I don't produce like the same format of content every time. And maybe this year I'll start to stick to a particular form of content, or I'll do a format per like day of the week. So for example, analysis Mondays or whatever. The problem is, though, I struggle to, like, when I come up with an idea, I'm like, oh, I've got to make this now. And then I just explode with this creativity, and like I make, like, my channel's more of an art gallery of my mind than it is like just a plain, like, textbook of facts or a textbook of bits and bobs. It's just a explosion of what my mind was thinking. A bit like one of those detective boards where they've got all the victims and the criminals on the board, and I'm just there putting the sewing, what's it, the wool pin between the pins and matching the dots and making a pattern and then presenting that pattern in another documentary. So my channel's going to try and be more personal. I would like to do more live streams in the coming year if I get days off. But as I say, it depends on how busy I am. I'll get onto my schedule in a minute. The goal for this year is to try and get, well, it really depends how Brexit goes over between this year. I expect that by March we still won't have a deal, but if in March we have a deal, then my goal is 2,500 subscribers. If we don't have a deal in March and this carries on for the entire year, and we're still talking about Brexit for the entire year, then my goal is 4,000 subscribers, depending on how things go in terms of news. It might be that we don't have a deal, but the news is really quiet, in which case it's going to be really difficult to make videos on Brexit, being the Brexit channel. If everything does dry up, or there is no news on Brexit, I do have a plan for post-Brexit, which is basically I will broaden out to more broader politics. I want to talk about things that I'm also interested in, like Doctor Who. I want to start vlogging. I do have some vlogs ready from my holiday, and I'll start, broadening it out to a wider channel about wider topics worldwide. I might even make documentaries about Trump and stuff. And I'll have more time to make better content because hopefully there won't be as much news coming in as fast, and therefore I can make bigger videos when that time comes. I don't think see that time coming this year, but I could be wrong. We don't know. We simply don't know what's going to happen with Brexit. And then year two, so if this year I'm planning to get between 2,500 and 4,000, if it's still going on, my eventual goal is to get beyond 10,000 subscribers, because at that point I can go to the YouTube studio and have my own studio, and therefore I'll be able to start doing interviews with people, because I'll be able to invite them to a venue in London and hopefully get people in to talk about interviews and have like a proper little news style studio, but it being more like a political analysis kind of televisual style program, but just instead of being like a full program, it's going to be like clips of interviews and clips of other kinds of content. The schedule is still going to be Monday, Wednesday and Friday, as it has tried to be for the last few years, for the last few months. I will obviously differ from that depending on how busy I am for the week. For example, there were some occasions last month where I did Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday instead, but the aim is to try and do every other day. Therefore giving you guys a steady stream of content coming up. But I'd like to, if I'm very busy one week, I will try and let you guys know. I'll keep you guys updated probably every day, or near enough every day, on the community tab. And it's more than likely that on my day off, that's when the bigger video would come, such as a documentary or like something beyond 10 minutes at least, you know, something that takes a lot of analysis and time to make. Obviously it depends how busy the news is that week as well, and if the news is very, very busy, I'll do kind of like nightly updates, and I'll be probably turn into more of like a breakfast kind of news channel. So I would start uploading at say 8 PM or 9 PM whenever you guys are getting ready for work, instead of the 4 PM slot that I've normally been doing, and that way it gives you guys a chance to get my take on things, and you know, to support me in that way, and have your. The idea is to have individual forums for debate. It's not so much about the content that I'm putting out, but more so the fact that there will be like this space on YouTube for you to start debating that topic or whatever the video is about, and we can start building up like a series of forums essentially full of debate. Now, thanks to my one Patreon, which I'll give massive thanks to, Paul Miller. Plus, I'm now advertising on YouTube, and you can support me as well in the super chat right now. I am actually earning money from YouTube, which means that I can make this more of a business and start actually investing some money into the channel. So I asked you guys the other day what needs to improve most about my content, and you guys said the audio. Given that I obviously rely on audio so much, most of you said the audio needs to improve, and I can reveal that I will invest in some microphone equipment and improve the audio in the coming week or so, whenever that arrives. As for video resolution, the plan is to use kind of found archive footage and footage from the news, and then do kind of more commentary style videos. So therefore, streams like this, where obviously resolution isn't great, won't happen so often. Although eventually, you know, we'll be investing in camera equipment, and you know, more and more equipment and resources to help me produce better content technically. But that all depends on you guys. If you want to support me on Patreon or support me on the super chat, or just generally watch my content, the adverts will be there. I'm going to try and move towards more family friendly, advertiser friendly content, and we're going to start running it like that, just trying to keep the resources coming, and then eventually, once I feel like I can make a great video, I'll start using those resources to travel the country and get people's opinions, get people into the channel, and maybe do some interviews and things like that. But that's a long-term goal. Right now, I'm just focusing on making really great analytical videos about Brexit. Okay. When I'm really stumped for ideas, you guys will have live streams to watch, and I'll be able to do some live streams. I'm going to focus on making the best videos I can. Clickbait. Now, I know clickbait gets a lot of hate, and I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, I don't want to annoy viewers, but at the same time, I know that clickbait gets me a lot more views than otherwise. So therefore, I'd like to. Is anyone watching this? I just been talking to myself? Yeah. So anyway, I'd like to I'm gonna carry on like clickbaiting, if you like, my channel, but the content has to live up to the clickbait. There was a few times last year when I was thinking of the title or the thumbnail post making the content, therefore the title and the thumbnail didn't quite match. It was like a slight tangent to what the content was actually about, and therefore people were annoyed because it didn't quite fulfill their expectations. But if I can keep the content match to the clickbait and fulfill people's expectations, for example, the Say Goodbye Brexit documentary I made, then I can, you know, get views, get more comments, and suggested videos, and really help the channel. Hopefully get subscribers as well in doing that. But to get subscribers, I'm going to have to improve my branding completely. I don't want to start putting like introductions or outros on my videos just because it's a pain to put on, and secondly, it's like it ruins the artistry of the video if you've got to like take the viewer away and say, hey, subscribe. I always do join in debate and subscribe at the end of the video, but I mean, I'm gonna try and I might change like the logo and stuff, but really I want to be just trying to reply to comments, trying to support my Patreons, getting people more involved than they can, live streaming like this so that you guys can get a chance to interact with me directly, and I'm gonna try and be a bit more of a personal channel than I already have been. Yeah, so the main aim for this year is to be a hugely personal channel, focus on the personal side of Brexit, and just keep going. It's going to be a long, hard slog. There's going to be times when things just seem a bit depressing. So yeah, I'm going to try and focus on comedy as well as tragedy. There's a lot to laugh about as there is a lot to cry about, and so yeah, it's just worth carrying on. Mohsen Javid says hi. Rob Duncan says Happy New Year 2019 from Scotland, soon to be an independent after Brexit. Mahaj Javid says not Scot independence will not happen. Okay. So what's here? Let's just do a quick Brexit debate. Scottish independence is probably not going to happen in 2019, but it could happen as a result of Brexit if we end up with a no-deal scenario. That's what the S&P have said, especially if we end up outside the customs union and single market as they have suggested. So guys, don't forget to support me on Patreon, or if you want to, you can contribute to a super chat as a one-off payment, or you can just continue watching the videos and subscribing and sharing the videos. I really appreciate it when these videos get shared on Facebook. You want a people's vote? Oof. A people's vote would not necessarily solve the situation. It would only aggravate the situation more. But it might happen yet. There's talk about it amongst the cabinet. Alright, so I've kind of run out of things to talk about now. It was more of a channel update than it was anything else. I was hoping there'd be more people to join in the chat and write to me. If you're watching this post live stream, don't forget you can join in the comments, and I'll try and reply to all the comments in the comments below. That's my resolution this year, and I'll try and give you a like and a thumbs up. and I'll see you in a couple of days' time. I haven't really made a lot of videos for this week, but I'll try and get cracking and get videos out, and got loads of ideas, so don't worry. Alright, see you later, guys.